Hello, I'm Shayna, the Soul Traveler. Welcome to my Shadow Work program. First of all, let me say I'm so glad, I'm so proud of you for starting your journey. So there's many ways in the spiritual community to do shadow work, and if you've ever researched it, you'll see there's many different methods and a lot of information out there. Through personal experience and exploration, I have found the most effective way to complete shadow work is self-awareness. Now, I say complete very lightly because this work is never done. So don't ever expect to just be done. Your shadow will pop up in different places, even after you think you've done all the work, or different parts of it will show up that didn't show up before. But the important thing is once you learn self awareness, you can recognize when your shadow is showing up. Okay, and we do this by becoming aware of our thoughts, observing our thoughts, our behaviors. We do this by getting to the bottom of our core wound, meaning like the major wound at the root of all of it. Because our core wound tends to color majority of our lives. Okay, and the roots of how the shadow was formed is going to be found in that core wound, which we'll talk about more later. So one of the very easiest ways for someone to actually start shadow work, because I hear that question a lot in the community, the spiritual community, how do I start? Where do I start? Because just the name, just the word shadow, it sounds so mysterious. Well, that's because to a point your shadow, it is mysterious because you haven't explored it. But it's not as hard as you think. The hard part is sticking to it and doing the work. And one of the very easiest ways to begin shadow work is using the world around you as a mirror. Because 90% of our reality is created by our subconscious. And that is exactly where our shadow lives, in our subconscious, right? The shadow is the part of us that we have rejected, the part of us that we have hidden from ourselves. Hidden shadow, right? And we can use the world around us, the people around us, the things we experience like a mirror, okay, to see where our shadow is showing up. So let's get into some examples. One of my favorite ways to teach is by example, okay, by experience that I've been through. So have you ever been in a situation where you see somebody who you might call a show off, or somebody who's cocky, somebody who's arrogant? Someone else might describe them as being confident, right? But if we're seeing through the shadow, we might see someone like this, being arrogant, being cocky. And it's like, who do they think they are? Why are they showing off so much? Oh my God, I wish they'd just stop, needing to be seen, or, thinking they're it and stuff like that, things along those lines. So behind that, in the shadow, there may be an insecurity about being confident. Maybe you're not confident in yourself. And so you perceive this person as thinking they're better somehow, or something like that. Or you don't believe in yourself the way that they believe in themselves. Okay? Because the point is not whether they're confident or are they arrogant, because there's a difference. That's not the point, though, whether they are or not. The point is, what is triggering you to have this reaction to this person, this negative reaction? Okay? And this can also work the opposite. If you're around someone and whenever you come around them, you feel a little swing in your step. Like, you're feeling good off the fact that you know that they're intimidated by you. That's also that same insecurity, but in reverse. That would be arrogance, that you're feeding off of the fact that you made someone else feel small. Okay? But right now we're talking more about using the world around you as a reflection. And we've all had this experience. Okay, we're scrolling down Facebook and we see a post that pisses us off immediately, and we just got to get up there and start clicking away. to response. We just have to. We just can't go on about our day if we don't say something about this right now. So you really want to pay attention to what about those posts are making you angry. And your first response is going to be like, oh, well, because they said this and that, and I don't agree with that, or that makes me mad because that's not the way it is, or XYZ. But I'm asking you to go deeper. You really need to ask, why does what they say make you mad? Is it something that's triggering you? Is it a trigger? Are they touching on a shoe that might fit somewhere deep down inside? The thing with that kind of stuff, it's vast and it's very individual. But this is a way that you can use it as a mirror. Okay? Even you can look at posts that you agree with and maybe figure out why you agree with those. I mean, sure, there's positive posts, but like, especially if you agree with a post that's talking down about something or that's having a negative opinion about something, ask yourself why you're agreeing with that post. What is causing you to feed the negative energy? Because whether you're responding in anger or whether you're excited by another person's negativity, that is your shadow. Okay? Anything you get excited by that's negative, or anything that you feed into with anger or negative emotion, that is your shadow. Okay? Shows, movies, books, music, especially music. Like, if you look at all the forms of entertainment you use, okay? Books, movies, music, whatever, social media platforms. If you pay attention to those, you'll try to find a common denominator, because I'm willing to bet you they all have a common theme. Something, whatever you're excited by, as I said, because we don't engage in forms of entertainment unless it's exciting, right? If we feed on it, even if it scares us or it invokes anger or it invokes sadness or whatever, we're excited by it because we're being entertained by it, right? Especially lyrics of songs and things like that. For example, the books I used to love to read was what I would call scandalous books, okay? And they were books all about cheating and affairs and lying and, people betraying each other and all that kind of stuff. What they might call filth now, I guess, reading for filth or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm using that wrong. Anyway, and as I did my shadow work, I quit reading those books for years. And I started going on my spiritual journey. I didn't mean to stop reading them. I just said, and I tried to go back and read one. I thought, oh, that might be exciting. Tried to read it. Couldn't even get through 2 chapters. It wasn't entertaining anymore. And I came to realize the reason I was attracted to those books before, because that was my view of relationships, and I had trust issues, and I really thrived off of that scandalous stuff, because my idea of relationships was very distorted. It was very distorted. I fed off of toxic relationships because of my shadow and my insecurities and all sorts of things. But we're not here to talk about me. This is just an example, okay? Another good one to use as a mirror, and this is probably one of my favorites because it's one of the more common ways in which we can see ourselves in a mirror. The people around us, the people that we don't like, the people that we are angry at. Or it's not just people you don't like. It can be the people that you're drawn to as well, the people you look up to, okay? Because either one can be used as a mirror to see, well, I don't like this about this person. Is it something in me that's similar? Is there a behavior that I'm displaying that's feeding this type of energy? I find that really annoying. Why do I find that annoying? Is it some sort of envy? Is it insecurity? Is it a projection? Do I also do that in a different way? People you're inspired by. Now, don't take this the wrong way. It's fine to be inspired by people, and it's not anything wrong with it, but you want to look at, why am I inspired by them? Why do I look up to them? Is there something that I feel they have that I don't have? Is there something they're doing that maybe I'm somewhere deep inside afraid that I can't do or don't believe that I can do? Especially if you find yourself saying things like, you know what? We'll get into that in the self-talk video more. I don't want to throw off the subject a little bit too much. Another thing to pay attention to when it comes to the people around you is, really take a good hard look at your friends. and the people that you relate to, the people that you can have good conversations with. What are those conversations about? Are they about, gossiping about other people? This person really like to complain all the time? Are you guys always complaining together? Like, yeah, I'm so sick of that, and I'm so sick of this, and enjoying these conversations with these people. Really pay attention to the content of the conversations you're having with people, because you're obviously attracting those people from where you are, and vice versa. They're attracting you from where they are. That's just another thing to look for, okay, as far as being able to see yourself. Now, the next thing I want to discuss with you is blame versus accountability. So as you go through the material, as you go through our sessions, as you ask yourself all these questions and do the worksheets and all these things, you may start to feel like that it's blaming you. That the program, that the material is asking you to blame yourself. And some of you may even begin actually blaming yourself. Like, there's a big difference, okay? And this is how you know the difference. Blame comes with judgment. When you start going, oh God, why did I do that? Oh my God, that's so stupid. I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. I shouldn't have done that. I should have known better. XYZ. Versus, okay, this situation made me mad and I was angry at them, but I can see how I helped create this situation. And I'm going to acknowledge that behavior or that trait, and I'm going to take steps to change that so that I don't create this situation again. Now, this is not asking you to take accountability off the other person, okay? But just like you go, well, yeah, I said that, but they did this. You have to go, okay, yeah, they did this, but this is what I did. Because this is for you to heal and grow. It's not about placing blame on anybody. It's about taking accountability, not judging for yourself for what you didn't know. Because you go, okay, I'm not going to judge myself. I'm not mad. I'm glad I learned the lesson. Instead, this taught me this about myself, rather than, oh my God, I shouldn't have did that. Okay, so I just want you guys to be aware of that. I don't want you beating yourself up. That's not what shadow work is. It's about acknowledging, taking accountability, changing, because we cannot change something if we don't first become accountable for it and first acknowledge the behavior in the first place. All right, so just watch out for that, okay, because we're not asking you to blame yourself at all. That is negative and that doesn't help anyone. So this is your intro, guys, and I just can't wait to work with you. And blessings on your journey.